Hi, I'm Aisha, and welcome to part one of our chakra rebalancing and healing meditation. So, we're just going to have a little talk about the main energy centers or chakras within the body. And before I go a bit further, I just wanted to explain that in the healing work that I do, the sound healing, I experience the main energy centers of the chakra system as all very connected, and they work together and they affect each other. And for example, if I was to do a healing on somebody, and let's say I'm playing the bowls on the lower chakra, so maybe between, say, Svadhisthana and Manipur, maybe I'm playing the bowls and information is coming through, so I'm interpreting the sound and the energy, and maybe I notice that, okay, this has got to do with some ancestral, say, karma, but they're experiencing certain things in their life, and then I will know in that moment that it's connected to the heart chakra. So it's all connected. And I feel like we try to explain the main energy centers so that we can understand it with the human mind. But this is a very multidimensional aspect of ourselves. It's the energy part of ourselves. So when we're taking something like this that's so connected and work together for the whole of the individual, and we try to put it in words so that the human brain can understand, it can sort of limit us to thinking that it's these separate parts of our body that's separate, and as we describe it. So I want you to have that understanding that it's not so, that it's very multidimensional. And I'm going to talk about the main energy centers, and I'm going to separate them just for the purpose of describing where they are and such, so that when you're doing the meditation, you are able to visualize the part of the body that they are at and the color that's associated with them, because this all helps with the healing process. But on another level, I don't want you to be in that frame of mind that they're separate and it's the separate part of our body. I want you to understand that it's all very connected and they're moving and working with each other. So really keep that open mind when you're doing this process, because I find that when we do healing work, it's a very individual thing. So as it comes up for you, that's important for you. We all interpret energy very differently. And this is why it's very important to have a journaling practice, especially when you're doing this sort of work. It's sacred work, and you can have mystical experiences and aha moments, and you can have shifts, and you're not going to remember it. You've got to ground this by writing it down, because even more information will come through by you writing it down. But you've also got a reference point for hindsight to see how far you've come over time. So when you're doing this practice, please keep a journal so that it's something that you can refer to and work with. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with Muladhara. It's also known as Muladhara. So a lot of my pronunciation of the chakra system is, I was taught the traditional form of sound healing, so the pronunciation may be a bit different, but I'll explain it in terms of what it's commonly known as well. Okay, so when we're talking about Muladhara, or known as Muladhara, or the root chakra, this is associated with the red color, and it's basically located at the base of the spine, I'd say. And then we've got Svadhisthana or Svadhisthana, and that's the sacral chakra. And this is located just below the navel in that area, and it's associated with like an orange color. Now, like I said, it's each of us interpret energy differently. And so when you're doing the meditation, if I say a red color or an orange color, for one person it may be a deep red, or it may be a much lighter red, or the orange can be closer to yellow. Whatever you see in that area is right for you. Okay, and because I've done sort of healing on so many people, and no two people are the same. There's always these differences in energy and how it works. So just really tune in with yourself and and how you perceive these energies and these colors. That's how we learn more about ourselves. That is the journey of self-mastery. And then we're going to go to Manipur or Manipura, which is in the solar plexus. And this is located just below, I'd say, the chest, above the navel, that area. And that's a yellow color. Okay. Then we've got Anahat or Anahata, and that's the heart chakra. And that's located, say, the center of the chest, representing the heart area, the heart chakra. Then we've got, and that's a green color. Then we've got Vishuddha, which is the throat chakra, and that's located, say, in the middle of the neck area, and that's a blue color, and some people might see that as a lighter blue. So see what comes up for you. And then we've got the third eye or Ajna, and that's in the center of the forehead, between the eyes, a bit further up there. And this is more like a deep, dark indigo, dark purple color is the way I perceive it. But like I said, see what comes up for you during the meditation. So that's Ajna. And then we've got Sahasrara, and that's the crown chakra. So that's above your head. So commonly for me, I see it as a clear white, sort of a clear color. I suppose if you could say that as a color, but that's how I sort of see it. And it can have like a light purpley or violet sort of tinge as well. So maybe violet for some people. So see what comes up for you when we're talking about the crown chakra. This is very individual, and it's very important to stay open-minded with this. And although I've described it in all of these separate parts, please, I'll say once again, it's all connected. Okay, we're talking about energy now. Right, so what's going to happen when I play the sound and when I do the healing, I've got my 7 bowls for the main energy centers, and each bowl represents that different chakra, that different energy center. So when I'm playing the bowl for that chakra, it's would be the sound is specific for that area of the body, but through time, obviously I've been doing this healing work for a lot of time, the energy of these bowls are very, very powerful. And I want you to understand that this is very sacred, and I've been wanting to get these teachings out there for a while. And I felt like I've always sat with the understanding that, this is a sacred practice. I've got my ways of doing my ceremony and my energy cleanliness and so on. And I want you to understand that that's a very important part of your practice on this journey of self-mastery. So when you're doing this meditation and this practice, it's really important to hold a sacred space for yourself, to have energy cleanliness, whether it is making sure that you won't be disturbed during that time so that you can truly let down and get the full experience. Perhaps you need to clean the energy up a little bit. Maybe you had people around, people in the house. Maybe you've been going through some things that might be important to sage, burn some incense, or have a shower with the intention of clearing, whatever that is going to be for you before doing this work, this process. Also, this is something that you can do many times, but I wouldn't advise doing it more than once in a day, because when you do it, you're moving energy, you're balancing that energy center. You want to give it time to integrate. And when you're integrating, it's important to journal so that more information can come through for you and you can get the fullness of the experience, and possibly if you do this, don't do it like every day in 1 week, perhaps maybe 3 times that week if you felt you needed to do it more in that week, because you don't want to do it too much without really integrating what's coming through. So it's all about balance, right? So it's about balancing this out and figuring out what's important for you and what works for you. Okay, so I think we're ready to get started, and we're ready to start on part 2. So get yourself ready, and we can begin part 2. Thank you for joining me.